Valley Road and also 282, anywhere off of 282 near the intersection of Interstate 24, John P. Rhodey Lane. You definitely want to be in shelter right now as we have a tornado more than likely still on the ground. We were seeing debris on First Alert Doppler Network, and this tornado is moving off to the southeast. It is about to cross Interstate 24 as we speak. So let's get everybody caught up to date in the Heartland. You may be tuning in to watch your favorite program, wondering what is going on. The majority of the Heartland is very, very quiet. But again, remember, the Heartland is a very, very large area, and Western Kentucky right now is under the gun. So we're going to stay with them to help keep everybody in Western Kentucky safe as these storms move through. They're moving at 25 miles per hour, which means they will likely be out of our area within the hour. We have other storms we're watching. I'll zoom in for you folks in Dexter that are wondering, in case you're get rumbles of thunder with this line. It appears to be weakening. We're losing a lot of energy across southeast Missouri right now. So this activity moving towards Dexter and the Sikeston area is weakening as we speak. Same story for you folks in Cairo and Cape Girardeau and Jackson. This has moved out of your area. Paducah, this has moved out of your area as well. At least the severe part is out of your area. You still have some storms that are back building across Paducah right now, so you still be getting some heavier downpours, some thunder and lightning. But you see that red box right there. That is our tornado warning. Spotters confirmed a tornado. We witnessed debris on radar as well, so we got to assume still that we have a tornado on the ground right now crossing Interstate 24. That's what it looks like right now, crossing Interstate 24. Lisa, you got any other?
The only information I can get is that train spotter reported that tornado at 9:15, and it was observed 1 mile southeast of Calvert City. So southeastern part of Calvert City is where that tornado was spotted, and I think that's where we were looking at some of that debris we saw on that radar heading towards Industrial Parkway, as you mentioned. They're still having that tornado warning continuing until 9:45, and I'm waiting for more information to come in.
All right, till 9:45, and again, the good news is on the looking at debris, we're not seeing it right now, but we are still seeing the possibility of a tornado. We've got that circulation again on the southeast side. They said they saw it at 9:15 on the ground in Calvert City, and that's when we were noticing some debris on radar. That was 5 minutes ago, so that would put that tornado now out of Calvert City and crossing Interstate 24, heading towards Highway 641. Excuse me. So let's zoom in and get an idea on who's under the gun now for this tornado. Again, this tornado was on the ground. We saw debris show up on First Alert Doppler Network, and we had an idea of spotters reporting a tornado as well. So more than likely it's crossed Lone Valley Road right now and crossing Interstate 24, headed towards Airport Road, 282, Circle Lane, Upper Village Drive, Kentucky Dam Road. So, you know, we've got the Kentucky Dam right here for Kentucky Lake. This area is under the gun right now. That tornado is headed towards you. You definitely want to be in your safe spot. If you're in any of these areas, that means you want to make sure you're in a basement if you have a basement. If you don't have a basement, you want to get to that lowest center room, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, this is a tornado that was on the ground, still may be on the ground. We don't see signs of debris right now, but we just 5 minutes ago, we saw debris and we saw an indication from spotters that it was still on the ground in Calvert City. We could take a look at the winds inside the storm right now, and they're still showing the possibility of, it really just kind of looks like very strong gusty winds, but it's going towards the radar, and we still have that little bit going away. So it's broad rotation, but it is still there, and the winds going away from the radar are just a really small area. So that tells us there's a fairly tight little circulation, but it's broad. So we could still be talking about a tornado that is moving across Interstate 24 right now, and it is headed towards Highway 641. And again, this is in northern Marshall County in western Kentucky. We have parts of Lyon County and Livingston County as well under the gun with this tornado. Let's do another track on this storm, and we'll back things up here in just a second. We'll do a storm track on it as it's moving off to the east-southeast at about 25 miles per hour and see who's under the gun for this storm, excuse me, under the next hour or so. Again, this is going to be moving pretty rapidly and getting out of our area. You can see here's Lyon County, here's Marshall County, the land between the lakes. If it holds together, you're going to be under the gun here shortly. And we'll put a cell track on this storm right where that tornado is, and we'll move it off to the east-southeast at 25 miles per hour. And you can see that Grand Rivers at about 9:34. You got 11 minutes. Twin Lakes at 9:41. And doing the math real quick, that's 18 minutes from now. So some of these areas, you got time to get to your safe spot right now, which is a basement if you have it. And of course, if you don't have that basement, we tell you to get in that center interior room, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you have a bicycle helmet, a baseball helmet, anything to protect your head, it's a good idea to put that on as well to help protect you from flying debris in case this is on the ground. Again, this spun up very rapidly, then it dissipated, then it spun up very rapidly again and touched down. And it could be in the dissipating stage again, but I don't think that the warning is going to get canceled quite as fast because of how fast this re-intensified over the past 30 minutes once it was canceled, and then it spun up very, very quickly. So let's go in here and see if we have an update on the winds in this storm. And you can see they continue to show the possibility of a tornado, but it's not as strong as it was. Lisa, are you seeing any new information on this?
Not seeing any new information other than that the scans just are continuing to show the rotation, as you mentioned, weakening slowly, but we still have that risk of it spinning up again. So that warning is still out till 9:45. Other than where apparently there was some footage caught on camera of the tornado. Not seeing any other reports on it now other than this storm is strong, does have some gusty winds, and before it became tornado warned, there was some tree damage in portions of Marshall County. So just waiting for more information on that, and hopefully it will just continue to weaken, but still hanging out to that warning at least until 9:45.
This looks like this almost looks like debris, but it does not line up with any winds right here is what we're looking at over Highway 62. It looks more like that would be large hail falling. But what we can see is a lot of debris being drawn into the storm. You see all this dark blue. That's a lot of dust, probably birds and insects that are being drawn into the storm. It's the air that's feeding into this storm right now. And again, this did produce a tornado apparently. And excuse me, we at least saw some signs of damage on First Alert Doppler Network. We're not seeing a huge tornado signature right now on the velocity, but we are, when we look at what we call the reflectivity, which is this, there is signs of a boundary that's moving this way, rain wrapping around, circulation right here, basically at the intersection of 282 and 62. If you live anywhere across 62 from near the Grand Rivers area in parts of, again, this is parts of Livingston County, excuse me, and headed into Lyon County and northern Marshall County, this is where you need to be seeking shelter, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible, like I always say, putting a helmet on your head if you got one, and getting a basement. That's the best location if you have a basement. You can see the storms in southeast Missouri are beginning to weaken. I know there's a lot of folks right now in southern Illinois and southeast Missouri are saying, what's going on? Why are we on the air? It's because of this right here. Remember, whenever we have a tornado warning in our viewing area, we are going to stay on the air as long as we feel there is a danger to someone's life. We're going to be here for you, and that's why we're on the air, and we're going to stay with you to keep you safe throughout the night. So let's zoom back into where the strongest storms are right now. And again, this is in parts of western Kentucky. We can see parts of Livingston County, Crittenden County, Caldwell County, and of course we're seeing this circulation near Grand Rivers. Right here is where we're seeing that possible tornado crossing into Kentucky Lake right now. So basically it looks like it's going across the northern end of Kentucky Lake. Let's see if we can see the Kentucky Dam Road, which is right here where the Kentucky Dam is for the Kentucky Lake, and right here is where the circulation is. So if you know where the dam is for Kentucky Lake, if you live anywhere close to that, you need to be in your basement if you have it, or you need to be in your safe spot. Grand Rivers, this is headed your way, especially the southern end of Grand Rivers. It looks like Dover Road right here, anywhere along that area. You need to be underground if you can, and if not, You need to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Our possible tornado is right near Upper Village Drive and 62 and 641, and it continues to move off to the east-southeast at about 25 miles per hour. And I see that these are all areas. I know that Kentucky Lake is right in this general area, and it's not showing up because the tornado warning is covering it. But if you know anybody that lives or is out in the Kentucky Lake area, I know I have some friends, I think, that are right here, right now, and hopefully they're taking heed to the warning that there's a possible tornado moving towards them right now as we take a look at the latest information from the winds inside the storm. We'll see if we have a possible tornado still. We're still seeing a little weak circulation, but again, it's nothing very impressive like it was just a few minutes ago, and hopefully this trend will continue. But again, that happened about 30 minutes ago. It weakened dramatically, but then re-intensified very, very quickly. But the overall structure, at least on radar, is a little weaker from what we're seeing right now. So I think the Weather Service is having a good idea of possibly just holding on to the warning for a little bit because of how quickly it spun up the last time. But we're seeing that possible circulation right here, this little area where the green and the red, that's the northern end of Kentucky Lake. In Marshall County and about to cross into Lyon County and extreme southern Livingston County. Lisa, is there any other information on this that you see?
No new updates have come in yet, other than just by kind of doing a little bit of looking, there might be some small hail. Hail's not looking to be a main thing. Still could be seeing some strong winds and, of course, heavy rain. But the overall winds, like you said, look to continue to be weakening, only seeing a very small circulation. And lots of lightning with this. I know you mentioned that before as well. But there's now another latest scan came in and is almost showing that rotation is dissipated even more. The only thing I've heard from emergency management is that there's no damages so far that they've found in Calvert City, so I'm sure people will be out there kind of looking to see if there is anything else continuing that they'll see from damage from this so-called tornado that has been observed.
All right, thanks, Lisa. And we're still seeing the possibility of some hail right along Highway 62 moving into Highway 917. But again, we're not seeing that. We did briefly see that debris signature in southeastern Calvert City, and it matched up with the velocity and it matched up with what the reports were saying where a tornado was on the ground. It looks like the circulation is weakening again, and hopefully that trend will continue. This warning goes out for another 15 minutes as it moves off to the east-southeast at about 25 miles per hour. We'll back things out just a bit here, and we'll put a storm track on this to get everybody caught up to date who could be in the path and let you know when it could hit your house. Now, I'm drawing it not from the thunderstorm. I'm drawing it from the rotation. So we're going from the possible tornado right now off to the east-southeast at 25 miles per hour. This is 15 minutes. This is 30 minutes. This is the Lyon County line moving into Trigg County. Once this gets into Trigg County, it's out of our viewing area. And so we've got about 30 to 35 minutes, I say, of dealing with this storm. Now, we have another storm that's trying to build up on the backside. You can see this building onto the east side of Paducah. It is not as strong, but it is in the same environment, if you will, that this storm developed. So we'll kind of, and it's tracking across the same area. Earlier, this is where we saw that tornado near Ledbetter, at least on radar. And we do have what we call a little inflow notch, so there's a little bit of rotation that may be trying to form here. It doesn't look all that impressive, but we can see that the winds are coming into the storm right here, and rain is wrapping around. So that is something we'll have to watch closely as this is moving right in behind this storm. And hopefully we don't have another tornado. You would think that that storm would begin to weaken here shortly, as the storm ahead of it's probably taking most of the energy. But again, this storm is losing a lot of its tornadic characteristics, at least on radar. So we're going to stay with it for just a little bit longer. Well, we're still seeing that green and red couplet right next to each other. It's elongated, but it is still definitely there. It's very broad. It's almost like we have a strong downburst occurring with a little kink right on the end of that downburst where you could have a quick spin up. And this is right through the Grand Rivers area in western Kentucky on the northern end of Kentucky Lake. So let's zoom back into this area, get some roads to pop up where we're seeing that possibility of some damaging winds. Dover Road, anywhere around here. Again, this is on basically on the east side of the northern part of Kentucky Lake, and then there's Lake Barkley over here. So that's headed towards Lake Barkley right now as well. So the Kentucky Lakes area under the gun as we speak. And more than likely, we have this circulation in this general area. We'll search around to see if we see any signs of what appears to be debris flying around in the air as well. And hopefully we do not, because this is where that circulation was. That's the debris being drawn into the storm. All we see basically are what appears to be hail spikes, a little bit of hail mixing in. So not seeing what appears to be debris on the ground from a tornado right now. So let's hope that trend continues as this storm looks as though now it is finally beginning to weaken. But again, we have that tornado warning in effect for about another 12 minutes. So we're going to stay with it for at least another scan or two to make sure that everybody is safe before we throw things back to the regular programming. You can see for you folks around Dexter, that storm has dissipated rapidly. The other storms are weakening. The only two storms we really have going are the ones that we have that tornado warning for, and then the other storm that is moving through parts of Caldwell County that'll eventually be moving out of the heartland as well. We've got that new storm that is trying to develop on the east side of Paducah. So right now, again, tornado warning out until 9:45 for southern Livingston County, for extreme west central Lyon County, and northeastern Marshall County. It's for this storm right here that apparently produced a tornado about, I think they said it was at 9:15 is when they saw the tornado on the ground, and that's kind of when we saw the debris signature to last for a little while as well. And we have a new storm again that's trying to develop right over Calvert City. So we had two quick spin-ups with this storm that produced possible tornadoes in western Kentucky, and that's why we're staying with it, because we want to make sure that everybody who views our TV station is safe during severe weather. I know a lot of folks in Illinois and southeast Missouri have nothing going on in their house where they live, but again, if this was headed towards you, you'd want us to warn you. So just remember, we're trying to keep everybody in the viewing area safe, and right now that strong gusty winds, they're moving into Grand Rivers right now. The actual tornado that was on radar earlier, it appears as though I'm really just not seeing much in the way of a tornado on radar right now. So we're going to be throwing things back to the regular scheduled programming here in just a minute. I want to back things out one more time, and we'll take a look at the Heartland on whole. I know we still have a tornado warning out, but it's looking much weaker now. Lisa, I want to toss it to you real fast to see if you've had any information. Are they updating this?
They just sent out an update that they're still going to continue the tornado warning for Livingston, Lyon, and Marshall County until 9:45. Now we're trying to figure out I'm trying to see if there's any kind of footage or photos that I can see. I know it was kind of hard because stuff that seemed to be sent in was showing it was going over the Ohio River, but it's very dark and lightning is illuminating this. So if anyone is trying to see the tornado, it's very likely that you're not going to see anything. You're going to see a lot of rain. Your eyes might be playing a little bit of a trick on you, therefore, when the lightning will illuminate the sky. So just trying to see if we can find anything more. But the storm looks like it's just continuing to weaken. Heavy rain, some light hail is what we're seeing with this, but I think it's good that we're at least keeping an eye on this, with this warning still going out at least for another 10 minutes or so, and hopefully it will continue to weaken enough to where we won't have this warning and we could just deal with these storms hopefully weakening. They're going into an environment, is what it looks like now, where they will continue to weaken for most of the part. But with all the storms we've seen, a lot of wall clouds, some funnel clouds look like they've been reported, but this is one of those things where, like you said, we saw that debris signature on radar, and it's very likely that there was that tornado on the ground at some point. No damage has been reported so far, other than that this storm has damaged some trees that we've seen, but no damage reports regarding the tornado at this point.
Well, that's some good news. Again, we hope this trend continues, and we may not stay with this until 9:45. I wanted to give it a couple of more radar updates because of how quick this thing spun up again. But if it continues this very strong weakening trend, if you will, we'll probably throw things back to regular programming in about 2 to 3 minutes here while we continue to monitor it behind the scenes. But again, this did apparently produce a tornado. Thankfully, it doesn't seem like there's much damage. We'll probably find some tree damage or something here when they go out and observe it. But we can't tell on radar. When we're on radar and we see debris, it could be a tree, it could be a house, it could be a car. We got to take it seriously, like it's hitting something. And it was at one point. But right now, we are not seeing any strong indications of a tornado at all. Matter of fact, I'm not really seeing much in the way of strong gusty winds in this storm anymore as well. We'll take a look for some hail, and we're not seeing much in the way of hail or what would even be considered debris. I'm seeing debris on the outskirts of the storm, which I would expect, meaning that this storm is has some gusty winds away from the storm, and that means that this will continue to weaken more than likely. I want to pan up or pan the back to the new storm that's developing just in case this is getting out of hand, which right now it looks fairly decent. It looks like it is behaving. And we'll take a look at this storm here as well. Inside it, we do not see any indications of a tornado at all. So at this time, folks in the booth and master control and in the director's booth, it looks like right now, I know we've kind of cut our news program we do at 9 o'clock really short, but this tornado warning is in effect for another 6 minutes. But as we look at First Alert Doppler Network, it is almost out of our viewing area, and we see no signs of a tornado with this storm. So we're going to throw things back to regular programming. Yes, there will still be a tornado box on the screen, but as of right now, what we see on radar says that there is no tornado. And if that changes, of course, we will be right here to let you know.